Hi everyone, this is Lynn. This is a continuation from the first video. So the first video we went over supplies, we went over some yarn options, some things you can make. We also learned a slip knot, how to do a chain, a slip stitch, and the single crochet. And so at this point we're starting with the half double crochet, and what we're going to do is go over the 5 basic stitches just to get you started. So what we have is a chain of 27. You're welcome to do any type of chain. If you want to chain 10 or you want to do more because maybe you want to work on something that's a little bit larger, you're welcome to do that. But for practice purposes, we're going to do a chain of 27. And let me just get a little closer here. What I want to do with these videos is take you very close to your yarn, and that way you can get a good view of what you're doing and learn. I'm trying to keep this at a slow pace so that way it's easy for you to watch and follow along, but if you need to pause and rewind, you're welcome to do that. And we're also practicing on a yarn and we're pulling it out. Don't be afraid to pull out your work if you have a mistake or you see something that just doesn't look right. Don't be afraid to pull it out. All right, so here we go with the half double crochet. When you have your chain, you can see the yarn running through that loop. With a half double crochet, what you're going to do is go into the 3rd loop from the hook. So that would be 1, 2, 3. That's the one we're going to go and put our hook into. So with a half double crochet, you're going to yarn over, go into that 3rd loop, pull your yarn through, and at this point you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Then you yarn over and pull through those 3 loops. When you're first starting and there's not much to hold on to, it's nice to kind of pull that down, but use your hook, turn it. Sometimes it's easier to turn to go through those loops. So again, yarn over, go through the next loop, pull your yarn through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. And that is a half double crochet. You can see it's a little taller than the single crochet, and you can also see the V's appearing on the top. And let's continue. So yarn over, through the loop to pick up your yarn, pull it through. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3, and you can just wiggle it through. Again, your tension is going to determine how tight your weave is, and some people like a tighter weave. Some patterns call for a lot more loose weave, so be mindful of your tension. Also, placement of your thumb. Some people do hold the hooks like this. You're welcome to hold it any way you want, whatever you're comfortable with. And yarn, you sort of want it to run through your fingers so that as it's pulling from your yarn ball, this will be looser here, so it's easier for you to crochet. So again, half double crochet, you're going to yarn over, go through the next loop to pick up your yarn, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. So go ahead and practice all the way down, and I will meet you on the other side, and we can continue with the row 2, sticking with the half double crochet. All right, so once you've completed your half double crochet stitches on the first row, your hook is going to be on the left side. You want to just go over your stitching, make sure it looks like what you want. This is going to give us 25 stitches across. because remember at the beginning we did a chain of 27, but we went in the third loop from the hook. So you lost a couple of loops there. So depending on what your project calls for, you want to give yourself the correct amount on your chain before you begin and count that row to make sure that is what you want for your project. So on the left side, you can see the yarn running through that last stitch. To get up to the next row, you're going to chain 2. So yarn over 1, yarn over 2. Turn your work around because again we're working from the right to the left. Then continuing with the half double crochet, you yarn over, go through the first loop, and that would be this one right here. Pull your yarn through, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. So taking a look at that right now, that is your first stitch. The chain of 2 is going to be on the edge, and again you're going to be able to do 25 stitches all the way down. So knowing where to put your first stitch at the beginning can sometimes be a little confusing, and that's why I want you to go ahead and see that very closely. And sometimes even at the end it's a little confusing. So from the top you can see the completed V's, and you can easily see these loops here that you would go through. That is a completed V right there. So that would be your last stitch, is right there. So if you look at that very edge, you could use that, but if you're wanting something to just be straight on, you want to make sure you just do the 25 stitches all the way across, and you'll get a nice square, whether it's a scarf or a pot holder, coaster, if you're wanting a square type of pattern. All right, so let's go ahead and do half double crochets all the way down the row. Yarn over, go through the next loop, pull your yarn through. Remember 3 hooks on your, 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over, through the loop, pick up your yarn, 3 loops on that hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. So go ahead and continue with your half double crochet all the way down, and we'll get a good idea of what it looks like with 2 rows, and I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, so once you completed your half double crochet stitches, that is row 2, this is what it's going to look like. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull this out because this is just for practice. But if you'd like to build on it. You can put this to the side and make a project with it if you don't want to pull it out. Right now for practice purposes we're just going to pull it out because this is an example. And then we're going to move on to the double crochet. And like I said, I don't want you guys to feel like you can't pull out your work. I want you to feel like there's no problem. If there's something wrong, don't be afraid to pull out your work. Okay, so go ahead and pull that out, and we're going to go back to just the chain of 27 and start with the double crochet from there. Okay, so we have our chain of 27 and we're moving on to double crochet. So on a double crochet, you're going to go in the 4th loop from the hook. So again, that's your last loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is where we're going to go in to do the first stitch. So double crochet, you're going to yarn over, go through the 4th loop from the hook, pick up your yarn. You have 3 loops. You're going to yarn over and go through 2. And remember the single crochet, you went through 2 loops. So double crochet, you have to think, oh, we're going to double it. So yarn over and go through the next 2. And see how tall that is? That is a much taller stitch. So again, double crochet, yarn over, go through the next loop, pick up your yarn, pull that through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through 2. Then yarn over and go through 2. So yarn over through the next loop, pick up that yarn, pull it through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over and pull through the next 2. So we're just going to look at that. That is double crochet. You can see that coming around, and you can see the V's on the top. So at this time, go ahead and continue with double crochet all the way down the row, and I'll meet you on the other side. All right, so right now you have double crochet all the way down your first row. And when you go back and count your stitches, you're going to find you did 24 double crochet. So remember, there's a chain of 3 over here where we started, because double crochet, you go in the 4th loop from the hook. So again, in crochet, you want to be consistent. So on the other side, when you're going to go up to the next row, you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Again, that's being consistent, because over here you have a chain 3 on this side, the beginning. So you're going to turn your work around, again working from the right to the left. We're going to do double crochet, yarn over, go through that first loop, pick up your yarn, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So yarn over through the loop, pick up your yarn, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So yarn over through the loop, pick up your yarn, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over, go through 2. So for practice purposes, go ahead and do double crochet all the way down. If you'd like to make something from this, you can put it to the side. For us on this video, we're just going to be practicing. So the next one we're going to go on to is a triple crochet, and we're just going to pull out our work. Again, don't be afraid to pull out your work. I think a lot of people, when they start, they don't want to pull it out, but it's okay. Sometimes you just have to. If you find a big mistake, you're going to have to pull it out. So don't be afraid of that. And going back to our chain of 27, we are going to start with the triple crochet. So moving on to the triple crochet, what we have is our chain of 27 again. And you can see that last loop where your yarn is running through is going to be the first one. On a triple crochet, you're going to start with a yarn over twice, and then you're going to go through the 5th loop on your chain. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is where you're going to put your hook through and pick up your yarn. Then you will have 4 loops on your hook, like so. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So triple crochet, of course the single crochet you go through 2, triple you're going to triple that, so you're going 3 times going through 2 loops. So again, yarn over twice, go through the next loop to pick up your yarn, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, Oops, don't want to lose that. Then you have 2 loops left, yarn over, go through 2. So once more, yarn over twice, go through the next loop, pull it through, yarn over, go through 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So triple crochet can be very beautiful in a very thin yarn. It will look very delicate. So it's a nice stitch to have under your belt and to practice. So we're going to go ahead and practice all the way down the line, and I will meet you on the other side. So here we have the first row of triple crochet, and again, a good habit is to count those stitches that you did. You should have 23, and from the chain of 27 we went in the 5th loop from the chain, meaning that there is a chain of 4 on that first one. So being consistent, going up to the next row, we're going to chain 4. So yarn over 1, yarn over 2, yarn over 3, yarn over 4, because that's just how tall a triple crochet is. So turn your work to the back, working from the right to the left. You're going to yarn over twice, go through that first loop, pull that through, and you can see that first loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Next triple crochet, yarn over twice, go through the next loop, pick up your yarn, 4 loops on your hook, so yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So here's what it's starting to look like. And if you'd like to practice, we're going to go ahead and do triple crochets all the way down for a second row, and I will meet you on the other side, and we'll go ahead and complete this as a small crocheted bracelet, and we'll learn binding off. So right now we've done that second row of triple crochet, and again, counting your stitches, you want to have 23 that you've done, but that first one that we did that chain, that's going to be like 24. So what we're going to go over now is binding off and ending a project. So for example, if you want to continue with more, you can do as many rows as you'd like, and then at the end, what I like to do is just put a slip stitch on the other side so that it matches this side where we did our chain and started. So on the left side, you're going to chain 1 to go up to the next row. And this is where we're going to turn our work around and work from the right to the left and just do a slip stitch just so that it looks more even from that first bottom that we started. So slip stitch, you're going to go through the loop, pick up your yarn, and go right through that loop that's on your hook. So through the loop, pick up your yarn, and through that loop. Now my chain is sometimes a little bit tighter than the stitching here, so I like to do the slip stitch and just pull the tension a little bit tighter so that it's even with that first bottom that our chain is. So again, the slip stitch, go through the loop, pick up your yarn, and through the loop on your hook. Through the loop, pick up your yarn, through the loop on your hook. And we're going to continue that all the way down until you get to the other side, and I'll meet you over there. Okay, so we did the slip stitches all the way down. Your hook is now on the left side. And if you look at it, it just looks a little bit cleaner than what it was. It's not going to be exactly the same as that bottom chain, but it's going to be a little bit cleaner. And you could always start something from this end or from the other end or from the side. You can always add on stitching on anything that you make. So if you wanted to do like a border around, you could even do that. But okay, so going on to binding off, right here you did the last slip stitch. So the last stitch, you're just going to, like, as if you're chaining one. And then at the end, we're just going to end up tying this. So let's go ahead and make it even with the other tail. Just going to pull that up and then pull out our scissors, and you're just going to clip the yarn there. Then going back to that chain one that you did, you're just going to pull that all the way through. And that is going to bind off your work just like you started at the beginning. So this is just a very cute crocheted bracelet, and what you're going to do is just pull this through anywhere you want on the other side, just to make a cute little bracelet. And you're going to put your hand through and just tie it. And then you can just tie it through wherever you'd like, just to have a cute little bracelet. But really, when you bind off, you're going to have these tails, and you're just going to put them back through your loops, through your crochet. So what I like to do, what you can do, is find a tapestry needle, something bigger than a sewing needle. But what I like to do is, if the yarn is thick, I just get one of the very small hooks, and then you can just put that through, pull that yarn through, and really just find a place where you want it to run through. So we're just going to run it through here. That yarn on, and then just wiggle it through and pull it through your work. Oops, not coming through so easy. There you go. And I like to just run it through as far as I can. I like to keep a longer tail and just run it through. And you can find any place to run it through. You don't want to clip the tail right where you put that knot, because it's going to flare and have some yarn coming out. And this way you will have something a little bit longer just running through your work. I find some people like to stop at a certain point and then run it back the other way. You can do that, but you're just going to work this tail through your crochet pattern, and that way it's going to be seamless. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it gave you some ideas and some good information for your projects. If you did like the videos, please subscribe to the channel, and that way I can bring you lots more of Learning with Lynn videos.